Star Wars The High Republic Out of the Shadows was written by Justina, Ireland, and follows a group of Jedi that set out for the frontier as they are tasked with dealing with a dispute that soon becomes a bit more sinister than they originally thought, as it involves the Nile, and so they must fight to survive. Guys, I'm excited to finally get back into some Star Wars reviews. I have been just a little burnt out on Star Wars for the past couple of months, and that's why you haven't seen any Star Wars content from me. And I finally got to sit down and read this book from beginning to end. I was originally reading it back when it was released, but again, I got burnt out. But I am very glad that I finally got to finish this, because this is a very enjoyable book that I didn't love, but I think is a very integral part in the High Republic, and it is definitely worth a read. I was really excited going into this book because I loved Justina Ireland's first book, her young reader book, A Test of Courage, that came out during the first wave of Phase 1 of the High Republic. I loved that book. I thought it had really great characters and just was a lot of fun. And so I was hoping that she could bring that into a young adult book, and she did. I love the characters in this book. I think she does a great job of developing Vernestra and Ermi. I think they are really, really great. I also love that she gets to play around with characters that she didn't create, such as Reef, who was our main character in the previous YA book by Claudia Gray. And I think that was really cool. But also, she's great at coming up with new characters, such as Sil Yarrow, who is a brand new character to the Star Wars universe, and she is headstrong and is dealing with a lot, losing her mother in an attack by the Nile. And Justina Ireland does a really good job of getting you inside the heads of all of these characters. You really get to see their flaws, you get to see their wants and dreams, and they struggle throughout this book, and it is wonderful. It was also really great to see some plot threads continue on from the previous YA book, but also from stuff that was set up in the previous adult book as well. I really liked seeing the continuation of Nan's character in particular. She was this character that appeared first in Into the Dark, and it turns out that she is a member of the Nile. And you really see her throughout this book trying to get up the ranks of the Nile, and we get to see her in some very interesting scenes with Markian Ro, who just proves to me yet again how interesting and sinister of a villain he truly is. I really love scenes with Nan in this book and, dealing with the Nile, and it is so much fun. And I really loved how dark this book got too. Much like the previous book, which was very dark too, this one goes into some very interesting places, and really by the end of it, I was really interested to see where the High Republic goes next with some of the information that we get moving forward, because I think this book, even though it is YA, does a really good job of telling us, or at least hinting at, what might be next for the next wave of High Republic books, and I thought that was really interesting. So what exactly did I not love about this book that stopped me from loving it altogether? Well, some of it has to do with the writing. Now, Justina Ireland is a great writer. I love her prose. I love her character work. However, I think it has to do with the audience that the book is written for. I'm not particularly a fan of the more recent YA novels, and to me, they just get very angsty in a way. And this is completely a subjective thing. It's just something that I'm not really into. I'm not really into the style of a YA novel, and that's why maybe this has been a little bit harder to get through, and why I didn't even love the previous book, Into the Dark. But I think that really kind of dampered my genuine appreciation for this book, because even though I liked the characters, I just couldn't relate to them as much as I wanted to. Even though they were very well written and were very interesting, it was just something holding me back. Also, I think that the book really takes its time to get started. This was another complaint that I kind of had with The Rising Storm, where the first half was a lot of setup and the second half was just an explosion of action and everything, and maybe it was a bit too much. There is also a lot of characters in this book, but thankfully not as much as there was in Into the Dark, which I did criticize that book for having a lot of characters, but um, Justina Ireland really tones down the characters a lot. There's a lot less of them, but still quite a bit. But overall, in the end, I still really enjoyed this book, and I liked seeing these characters once again, especially in a more darker story. I liked seeing Vernestra Rowe. I liked seeing Ermi. I liked being introduced to these new characters and developing them in new and interesting ways, and seeing their character arcs continue from a young reader book into a YA novel was really cool. I love how the High Republic works with all these different authors playing with each other's characters. It is so much fun and makes this book worth reading. So anyway, guys, with all that said, I'm going to give Star Wars: The High Republic Out of the Shadows a 7 out of 10. Well, guys, I want to thank you for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be reviewing a few more Star Wars books coming soon. There's a few that I finally got that I want to read and talk about, so look forward to that coming soon. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and stay positive.